Hey everybody, I'm Todd Seisner, Associate Publisher of In-Fisherman, and we'd like to welcome you to the iCast New Fishing Gear Guide as we learn more about the new products from across the fishing industry that are set to be introduced in the coming weeks and months. We're thrilled to be joined by a man who really needs no introduction. Many know him simply by his initials, KVD. But for those who aren't familiar, Kevin Van Dam is the standard by which all bass tournament anglers are measured. He's a 7-time Bassmaster Angler of the Year, 4-time Bassmaster Classic champion, a 3-time Major League Cup winner, and along the way, he's earned more than $6 million in tournament winnings. And it's always a thrill to talk fishing with Kevin. Today, he's going to enlighten us about the new Lose Kvd Rod Lineup. Well, first of all, Kevin, thanks for spending some time with us here today. I know your schedule's hectic now with all the tournaments being rescheduled, but somehow you've managed to find time to help Lose develop 23 new rod models bearing your initials and stamp of approval. I guess my first question is, how'd you do it, and what's the process been like?
So this is something that I've been working on since last year. Lose has a great lineup. That's the thing. When I made the transition, when they bought Strike King, and it was just a kind of a natural thing for me to do. But I was just amazed at how awesome their reels were. And I got to start using their rods, and I just noticed there was a lot of variance and a lot of difference. And they came to me right away and said, we'd love to do a KVD series. So I wanted to make it very in depth. Obviously, we've got 23 models. There's 10 graphite casting, 7 graphite spinning, and then there's 6 composite casting. So they're, a blend of graphite and glass for reaction baits, crankbaits, bladed baits, things like that. So 23 total, that's a big offering. And I wanted to make sure that they were specific to the techniques that I like. I've got specific jerkbait rods and jig skipping rods and spinnerbait rods and pitching rods and smallmouth rods, a little bit of everything through the line. And we wanted to build the features in that I thought that fishermen really want. And then I really wanted to do a high quality rod at a great value. So the first thing you'll notice on these is, they retail for $100. And these, they feel great. They've got, the graphite models, especially, they've got really extra fast actions to them. The lure keeper's in the right place. The handle lengths are right. They just balance really good. They fish and feel like a much more expensive rods. They're IM8 graphites, in the graphite models. So it's not a cheap rod by any means. We put really good guides on them, a really super strong tip. One of the things that drives me crazy is you're trying to knock your square bill out of the rocks or something and you punch your tip out. So we've got a super strong tip, on them, and just for those type of reasons. But one of the really cool things, so many models, we want to come up with a unique numbering system or something almost like a golf club would have. When you're looking down at your deck and you've got 20 of them out there and they all have they're the same color and everything. So what we did is we just, and it's very simple. If you look real on it, you just see it's like, this is a GC5 right here. This is a 7.2 medium heavy. This is my dock skipping rod right here. And we've got rods from everything, cranking wise, from everything from throwing square bills around docks, short actions, all the way up to throwing, 10XD. So it's a real complete line. They're really high quality. And I think anglers, when they pick them up and feel them, are going to be just amazed. Again, they're, for the most part, the graphite models are very fast actions, softer tips with a lot of backbone, which is what you need for making a good presentation. Or these rods are really well thought out for the balance, for the handle lengths and that. And the spinning models are pretty neat in that it's got a rear tighten grip on it. So it makes it really comfortable. I put the keepers down here at the bottom so you can put your drop shot weight there or your baits down there. On these casting models, they've got, a big section of blank, way more so, like twice as much as most other rods. So you get a lot better feel. There's nothing better if you want to feel than having your finger on the line or having your finger on the blank. So they're very comfortable and they're set up. And of course, we've got the reels to match, which we'll talk about too. I had to cut it down to 23. I think I started at 27 and we had some that were so close together that we ended up cutting it to 23. But that's probably the most broad new launch
Yeah.
from any rod company,
Well, from what I'm told, September 1st, Kevin, is the availability date on these. So that's just in time for the fall bite, which you know as well as I do can be some of the most or the best fishing of the year. So we're excited to see these in the fall. And again, at the $99 price point, I mean, my goodness, if these are rods that you're willing to put in the boat when you take on, those heavyweights on the Bass Pro Tour, then my goodness, they're certainly worth a look from the everyday angler. So
yeah,
I want to take the time to thank you again for joining us today, Kevin, taking us through your new KVD rod lineup from Lose, and good fishing to you.
Thanks, man.